Let's dive into the full narrated chapter of One Piece number 1158. Shall we? Let's go, right after the opening. Hello everyone, welcome to the Manga Information Channel. And before we dive into today's content, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss anything. Now, without any more delay, let's get into it. The title of the chapter is Rocks vs. Herald, page 1. Ogre Child, Yamato's Golden Harvest Surrogate Pilgrimage, Volume 40. Here rests a pirate of justice. On the gravestone, we read the name Kozuki Moria. Page 2. Opening note. In the era of the legendary pirates, in a certain sea aboard Roger's ship, the Oro Jackson, a Roger pirate shouts, "Captain! Captain Roger!" They say Shaki opened a bar on Pirate Island. It's extremely popular. We see Roger, Gaben, Rayleigh, Sunbell, Mr. Mamora, Donkino, and Peter Moo. Mr. Mamora says, "We were so depressed when we heard about Shaki stepping down as Empress. We thought we'd never see her again." Interesting detail. The conchally reads, Emperor, not Empress. Donkino says, "Now we know where she is. Let's go there." Sunbell says, "Hey, Pirate Island is under Rock's jurisdiction." Gavin says, "Hey, Rayleigh, I noticed something. Roger's gloomy mood started right after you two talked in the captain's room." Rayleigh says, Page 3. Gavin says, "What did you two talk about?" Rayleigh says, "Nothing important." We see a quick flashback of Rayleigh and Roger speaking. Rayleigh says, "I wasn't planning on telling anyone, but I'll share it with you, Roger. Before she stepped down, back when we fought the Kuja pirates," Roger says, "Shakuyaku looked like she was suffering from some kind of illness. When I heard the news later, I got worried about her health. And you received something like this during that fight?" Rayleigh says, "Yes, I just couldn't bring myself to say it." Roger shouts, "That message was basically a love letter." The letter from Shaki reads, "Come and meet me, Shakuyaku." Roger says, "You really have no interest in this at all, huh?" Rayleigh says, "No, I'd be lying if I said I had no interest, but I don't want to be tied down." Roger shouts, "Well, I do." Page 4. The flashback ends. Roger now appears more confident. Roger shouts, "Men, I will not give up." Genryu says, "Oh, what's this? Roger, you're in a good mood again." On this page, we see Roger, Rayleigh, Taro, Moon Isaac Jr., Peter Moo, Spencer, CB Gallant, Bankuro, and Max Marks. Roger says, "Plundering is what makes a pirate. If you want something, you take it. Isn't that right, lads?" CB Gallant says, "You're talking about Shaki, aren't you?" Taro laughs and says, "Jahaha." Roger says, "That's right. And why, of all places, does she have to be on Rock's Island?" The Roger pirates shout, "Everyone has an equal chance. Let's go and take her." Roger says, "I'm hungry. Mark's food." Mark says, "It's already prepared. Eat as much as you want." Roger shouts with excitement, "Whoa!" Page 5 time skips forward 40 years ago at Mary Geoise. One of the 5 elders says, "You are being impatient, Garling. The previous tournament only ended recently." Here Garling is shown young, the same as during the God Valley incident. The faces of the 5 elders are not revealed, only the backs of Nosturo, Jupiter, Warcury, and Mars. Saturn is not shown on this page. The introduction box reads, "God's Knights, Figerland Family, St. Garling, Future Elder." Garling says, "Yes, while dealing with another matter, I happened to dock on that island briefly. It is a non-affiliated nation that lives by its own unique culture. I even tried to persuade them to join the world government, but they refused. Still, the island is full of resources and extremely valuable to us. And beyond that, I made an astonishing discovery, something completely unexpected. Surely even the Great One will be pleased. For the next tournament, 2 years from now, I strongly recommend God Valley." Page 6. The scene shifts. Pirate Island, Shaki's ripoff bar. A pirate shouts, "Hey, line up properly, you bastard." Another pirate says, "What? It costs that much? I don't have enough money." Another pirate says, "Go to the back. You'll work for free for 2 years." A pirate shouts, "What?" Inside the bar, a pirate says, "I came all the way from the North Blue. I heard you can drink amazing whiskey here, and that Shaki stew is the best." Shaki says, "Oof-oo-foo, you say the cutest things. I'm glad, but I won't cook anything for guys like you." A pirate shouts in shock, "What?" Another pirate says, "You're just like we imagined." The chef says, "Shaki-san, the special beans are done. Also, we're out of whiskey." Shaki says, just serve them some cheap rum. Then she smirks and says, here you go, high-quality whiskey. A pirate with hearts in his eyes shouts, bad service, but thank you anyway. And so, Shaki's ripoff bar truly lives up to its name. Page 7. We see Rox inside the bar. Shaki says, what's the matter, Rox? You look satisfied, but those feelings aren't directed at me. That makes me sad. Rox says, huh. Linlin laughs loudly and says, ma, isn't it scary? A woman's intuition. Rox shouts, quiet, shut your mouth. This is confidential. Newgate says, what is he talking about? Stussy whispers, so dense. He's clearly showing the face of someone truly happy, a woman and a child. The Roger pirates suddenly storm into the bar. Roger shouts, Shaki, we're here. It's me. Gavin says with excitement, Shaki-chan. The Roger pirates shout, take some pictures, pictures. Other pirates shout, whoa, it's the Roger pirates. Shaki says softly, oh, Roger. Rox roars, Roger, how many times do I have to tell you this island is mine? Roger smirks and says, and yet here we are at Shaki's bar. Fighting between customers is forbidden here, isn't it? So stop barking, you porcupine. Note, Roger calls Rox Yamarashi, which can mean mountain storm, but also porcupine. The kanji seems inconsistent and may be corrected in the volume release. Page 8, Rox shouts, the line outside should be as long as a snake. Did you even line up? How the hell did you get in? Roger says, there wasn't any line at all, right lads? Now, let's drink. Outside, all the pirates are lying beaten on the ground. Newgate says, they're so noisy, I can't stand it. Stussy or Linlin says, hey Newgate, the bill. Newgate says, put it on Rock's tab. Shaki says, hey Roger, where's Ray-san? Roger says, well, you see, I told him to come, but he said he wasn't feeling well and stayed on the ship. Suddenly, Gloriosa jumps onto Roger. Gloriosa shouts, Kya! Well, if it isn't you, Roger, I've missed you. Today, you're definitely letting me on your ship. Roger shouts in surprise, Gwa, Gloriosa. I told you no, like I'd let a love-struck woman like you on board. Well, Shaki is an exception. Gloriosa angrily says, what kind of logic is that? Page 9. Shaki says, well, I guess that's fine. Roger looks at Shaki, worried. Roger says, hey, is Newgate around? I want to have a drink with him. Linlin laughs and says, he just left, mama. Roger says, that bastard Rayleigh, why won't he come? The Roger pirates begin to sing Bink's sake. Shaki sighs, ha! A pirate shouts, wah! Shaki just collapsed. Another pirate shouts, Shaki-sama! I want to take care of her. Gloriosa shouts, get out of the way, men. Don't get close. The narrator explains, according to the rule established by Shakuyaku, as long as her bar was the desired destination, fighting on the island was forbidden. Because of this, even when notorious pirates ran into each other, it never escalated into a clash, but at sea, tensions were always at a critical level. Pages 10 and 11. A box reads, Elbaf Underworld. Rox and Harold are fighting. Animals flee in fear, while Loki and Hyruden watch. Rox shouts, Harold, you're letting yourself be seduced by the government. Harold says, I was wavering. Is this really something that must be done, even if it means killing a friend? Rox shouts, and yet here you are, obeying them in the end. You're being used, you fool. Page 12, Rox shouts, isn't this their answer to you? They see you giants only as military power, nothing more. You will be turned into nothing but slave soldiers. Where has your pride as a warrior gone? Is this truly your own will? Harold shouts, don't talk as if you understand anything. That so-called history of violence carried by those warriors, right now, is nothing but a chain holding back Elbaf's path toward peace. Page 13, Harold recalls past conversations with citizens of the lands he visited. A citizen says, I think you're a good man, Harold, but in the past this land was raided by giants. That fear cannot be easily erased. I'm sorry. Harold says, hey, Rox, no matter how foolish the celestial dragons may seem as humans, they have the authority to bring Elbaf into the world community. Rox shouts, stop this, you spineless coward. Rox strikes Harold with an attack, knocking him back. Page 14, Rox shouts, all negotiations are off. I will never invite you to join me again. Harold shouts, I am a king. I cannot stake the lives of my people by joining a losing battle led by a scoundrel like you. Both roar. Whoa. The narrator explains, no conclusion was reached. Their strange friendship came to an end, and for the time being, the two would not see each other again, not until the day of that incident. At the bay, outside Ida's bar, Loki is seen reading a newspaper. Loki says, "News about Rox again." Ida says, "Rox is not coming, Loki-kun." Loki shouts, "Shut up, you old hag. Has want some juice?" Loki, annoyed, growls, "Yes." Final page. A box reads, 39 years ago, West Blue, God Valley. 2 babies are crying, "Wah, wah." A citizen says, "Oh, twin baby boys." Another citizen says, "They're so cute, they both have your red hair." The woman, the mother of the babies, answers softly, "Yes." A citizen says, "I hope they grow up to be as wise as you, since their father isn't around, will help you." The woman says, "Thank you, uncle." The Japanese text uses ojisa, which could mean either uncle if blood-related or simply mister as a respectful form. A citizen asks, "What are their names?" The woman answers, "Shanks and Shamrock." The note at the bottom reads, "Their birth." No break next week. That's it, everyone. This was the full narrated chapter. Remember to always read the original, since a lot of what we cover here might not be 100% accurate. The official chapter comes out next Sunday. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell. See you next time, and thank you very much.